crypto lawyers or hedge fund managers who are looking at asset tokenization and other people who are versed in the real world asset tokenization space, and they're blown away.
Now, just over a year ago, we had the establishment of the Stablecoin studio, and Hedera announced an additional studio that's going to be launching called the Asset Tokenization Studio. The studio is an end-to-end toolkit for the configuration, issuance, and management of tokenized bonds, equities, and other traditional financial assets on the Hedera network. This initiative is led by Hedera ecosystem partners IO Builders, the Hashgraph Association, Red Swan, and the HBAR Foundation. The studio enables institutions and developers to securely manage entire asset life cycles on Graph. From the initial ownership of the assets, compliance components like KYC and whitelisting, documents handling, and notifications. Hedera said that the Asset Tokenization Studio leverages Hedera's unique network features to address compliance, security, and regulatory requirements needed by users. So, Rob, just to start off, you can give your thoughts on the announcement around the Asset Tokenization Studio, and then maybe you can touch on the question from No Man's Internet.
Yeah, this is another huge deal. I mean, I'm kind of Captain Cliche this week, but 1 year on from the Stablecoin studio being announced at Token 2049 last year, this week last year, we now have another one, so the Asset Tokenization Studio. I haven't had a chance to have a play with it yet, and I hope to later today. But I pointed a few people who I trust at it, whether they be crypto lawyers or hedge fund managers who are looking at asset tokenization and other people who are kind of versed in the real world asset tokenization space, and they're blown away. All of this tooling, manna from heaven from people who actually think about how one does real world asset tokenization. And it's really, it's a real zeitgeist at the moment. The real world asset tokenization is one of the big themes that we're hearing a lot about. So to be able to launch this is fantastic. And I'm hearing a lot out of Token 2049 in Singapore that it's resonating and it's getting lots and lots of really good feedback. The Stablecoin Studio, I think it's fair to say, is a lower order studio. I mean, it was the first one that came out of that accelerator fold from Swirls Labs or Hashgraph. The same developers, IO Builders, have worked on both. So I guess there are a lot of learnings coming out of Stablecoin Studio into the Asset Tokenization Studio. IO Builders have a huge amount of expertise and knowledge in financial markets infrastructure and building fintech systems. So they're a great partner for Hashgraph to be working on this with. And I guess, we had a little bit of marketing around Stablecoin Studio last year, but we didn't have a great push, and it was quite early. Like I said, I've used it for a number of things actually, and it incorporates really well into other products, but it's still stablecoin. Stablecoins are capability, they're primitives that can be used within solutions. So they don't resonate as much as maybe real-world asset tokenization platforms. And, from what I've read, you've got all these templates, different types of assets that are, can be very easily adopted into your solution using the studio. So I'm not aware of how many projects have adopted Stablecoin Studio in the last year. I've certainly, like I said, found it very easy to incorporate them into a number of proofs of concept. Stablecoins will become the TradFi, DeFi crossover point. And they are already, right? But people think of stablecoins as just being the fallback in a centralized exchange. So you don't have to come all the way back out to fiat in your bank account. You can hold it in. That's really the only use case of stablecoins thus far. I see them in an entirely different way. I see stablecoins as being digital currencies that can be programmed and can be utilized within applications, whether it be DeFi or more traditional applications for things like micropayments or cross-border remittances or whatever. So I think that adoption curve is still kind of climbing. How amazing to have. And don't forget, we've got the Guardian as well. So we've now got Guardian is effectively the kind of the Uber studio. It was the first big open source project coming out of Swirls Labs and Hashgraph with the foundation support. So obviously Wes Geisenberg are really driving that. But, now we've got all of this technology for building sustainability economies around Guardian. We've got Stablecoin Studio providing these primitives, and we've got the Asset Tokenization Studio for real-world asset tokens. This capability layer on top of the base layer is kind of forming all the time. We had this question earlier about Hyro. All of these products are open source capability that will, I suspect, get transferred in as well. So that will drive a lot of creativity in the wider developer community. And so it's not just the base layer that's going to be innovated on and benefit from the Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust project, but also all of these capabilities as well. And all these building blocks start kind of coming together. Working on solutions which incorporate Guardian and stablecoins and potentially, ways of funding projects through tokenized funds, for example. So, there's so much can be done with these building blocks that are now forming, and it's very, very exciting.
I'm now posting these interviews of Hedera builders independently to my channel. The community, influencers, and media outlets are free to use this content to spread the word on what's being built on Hedera. Once they're all uploaded, you'll be able to go to my channel and search for whatever topic or team you're interested in to find more information. Or you'll be able to get the most recent Hedera news by watching the latest HBAR Weekly update. So check them out.